This conference will now be recorded.
All right, stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, we lost revenue.
That's always good for minutes and, yeah.
I know, right?
We're good, everybody's got.
Okay. Want to do your thing?
Sure. Oh, Lord, as we gather on this day, to do the important business for the people of the village of Owego. Grant us wisdom, compassion, understanding. Amen.
All right, first section as usual, public comment.
Not yet.
All right.
I'll wait to see what
Give
you're
you a
talking
chance
about
later.
first.
Okay. Department head reports.
Yeah, let's get these guys out of here.
Well, let's start with people who aren't here. We have anything from police?
We do, Joe has not, nothing that I know of.
I know, I talked to him yesterday.
Nothing.
So what's his status?
He's doing good.
He's down there out of rehab.
Down in South Carolina?
Told me he walked like 3 miles yesterday or something like that.
Whoa.
That's really good.
I don't know if he's supposed to, but it's doing good. Yeah, the doctor's appointment today, maybe.
He's got another thing today. And just the last piece, they still haven't released him to come back to work. They don't
No.
want him to do that.
Yeah. No, but it sounded like he's progressing along pretty good. Okay. Other than that, really, holding down the fort. What's that? EMS, we got their report, right?
Oh, you got a copy? Okay.
I don't know if everybody does.
I didn't know.
Do you want to read it?
All right, I'll read it off. Okay. So this is,
There's no.
for January 17th, from January 1st to 17th. Operations in December dispatched to so far this month, 81 emergency medical calls for service. Administrative, the community CPR class was held for local community organizations and for some of the members. Cabinet was procured to put items in such as windshield washer fluid, engine oil, cleaning supplies removed from the furnace room to satisfy village insurance inspection. And the chassis funds now are up to 95% as of the last report. And all of the vehicles are working fine and no problems.
About fire department? Jimmy?
Yeah, I spoke to Jim. Jim has nothing for tonight. We'll catch up the next meeting. We had a walkthrough, so.
Yep.
Couldn't make it tonight.
Okay. Tracy, you got anything?
One thing I did want to mention, the snow and ice guards at 90 Temple is moving along slow with the weather, because we would think we'd be getting this much rain this time of year, but they are working at it as weather allows them, so they are moving forward with them. And the only other thing is if you wanted to go over what city sent out today, you want to go over that now, as far as,
Might as well. Maybe.
Should be. Did you pick up some stuff? Yeah, I'll see. I didn't see that. I might have an extra.
I don't know if you want to give like an overview. Nate's on too. Nate, are you there? Are you babysitting?
What should we say?
I'm here.
So we've got one of our newer employees at the plant has a young child that is going to be going off to Syracuse and then for some operations. And then after that completion and the baby gets strong enough, going to be going off to Rochester. And between the appointments that he's already been going to and being a newer employee, he's out of time. So there's a couple employees here that have offered to, donate sick time to him, I guess. That's the word you're going to use, for him to use while he's, out of town with his job surgery. So, and we were just hoping that we could get a board motion. We're not looking to rewrite the contract and have this a normal thing. We just want it, a one-time use thing with this particular case at this time.
So if everything is okay, we're straight with Nate involved in this, I would like to make that motion.
Well, Nate will probably advise us how we can go about this.
So, if the board is in favor of this, and I mean, obviously it's one of those circumstances that is really, no family wants to go through that. And if the board is willing to authorize that as part of, a discrete one time, let's recognize this is a very rare occurrence, memorandum of agreement with the union about it. I think the only thing tonight I would ask you is to basically to tell me to reach out to the union representative, Joanne Mastronardi, to just document this correctly so that, both the union and the village are protected. But, I don't know the specific circumstances of this, but I think if the board, basically indicates that expression of intent to authorize this, once the lawyer and the union rep work out the details of the MOA, which won't be complicated. It's probably like a one-pager type of a thing. Then I think by the next board meeting, you could authorize it and then have it retroactive to whatever date that this individual needed to start taking time off, assuming that other employees contribute as we expect them to.
I just want to be more specific than what you're going to say. I don't have to.
No, if you want to, go for it. I mean, it all comes down to the same thing.
Yeah, but we're always like that. The motion I'm going to make here then will be that we allow on a one-time basis our employees to donate as many sick days as they want voluntarily from their accounts to the gentleman that we're talking about. And then, of course, that's our understanding, and that we will have our attorney make the MOU with the CSEA.
You just restate what you said about the
What we're going to have our attorney.
Hey, Mike, can you check the microphone? Because it's really hard to hear everybody. Normally I don't have that problem, but it sounds like.
Because you were in person last week, Nate.
Rusty doing his, moment, trying to get his motion ready.
So I had it ready, I'm just saying. I just said that pretty quick.
Can you hear us any better, Nate?
You sound a bit louder. I think I heard Rusty saying it would be a motion to authorize the one-time specific donation of sick time by CSEA employees to insert name for the purpose of allowing him to utilize that sick time, for the medical emergency of his child, and authorizing the attorney to draft a contract and the mayor to sign a contract reflecting the same.
Pretty much.
I'll second that.
Not necessarily just CSE employees.
All right.
Yeah, I didn't
let's-
say any employee. Maybe a PBA would want to do it, somebody else too. Could we cross those or no?
Yeah, so this is where it starts to get thorny, right? So the PBA already has a sick bank in their contract. If the village would like to allow non-CSEA, non-union employees to also have this type of a benefit, then, we need, I think that's a separate discussion, because Tracy, correct me if I'm wrong, this particular individual is not, is in the CSEA, right?
Correct, but I would like to donate and I'm not, so that's the only thing I want to make sure.
Okay, well, so I would prefer two separate resolutions then. One authorizing the one-time MOA for CSEA employees to donate sick time. And then the second resolution would be authorizing Tracy to donate sick time to this particular individual.
Because Tracy's not in this, yes. Yes, and a quick question, can I ask any question? Do we have a sick bank for the police? I didn't know we had a bank.
It's not a bank, I think, in the typical sense, Rusty, but they can donate time to each other.
One of them.
Yes. No, a bank is where you deposit days into the bank and they can take it out of the bank. That's a different thing, which I don't think we have.
Right.
Okay, thank you. So, my motion is for the CSEA employees.
I second that.
Okay. Any discussion on that motion?
I just have a question, Nate. If we were able to do the family medical leave, would that take care of this particular incident?
So there's family medical leave and then also paid family leave. So FMLA is federal, PFL is state. So your question, if he's eligible for FMLA, which is the federal leave, that is unpaid leave. If he's eligible for it, then yeah, he could take the time off under the FMLA. Similarly, if the village board had authorized paid family leave under New York state law, then this would likely qualify under paid family leave. Now, he is in the union, and to authorize paid family leave under New York state law for union employees, you have to negotiate that with the union, meaning it becomes part of the contract. And to my understanding, neither of the unions have asked that the paid family leave be negotiated into their contracts.
Okay, I'm just curious.
All right, so we have the motion and a second. Any other discussion? Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Fran?
Yes.
Charles?
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Ed?
Same motion with the Tracy, the Director of Public Utilities, in place of the CEA employees.
And we have to name Tracy specifically, right, Nate? We just can't say any
Yeah.
non-union.
Well, you could say any non-union employee. I mean, it's one of those things. If other non-union employees would like to contribute their sick time by saying non-union employees, covers everybody.
Because Fred's already showed interest in it.
So that would be the motion, any non-union.
Non-union, I've talked to Tracy about it, that I would do it.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, everybody.
I don't get
This is a great thing.
I just made a
We're
motion.
on sick time all the time.
I made the motion.
And seconded, but nobody's voted. Okay. So we'll vote on that. Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Fran?
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
And yes. Anyway. Should we do your thing?
I was gonna say, do we want to go on to the other resolution here, the gardening meeting?
Knock them off the list.
So I'm trying to find, stop rushing me.
Yep.
I got a couple.
I left my bifocal at the shop, I'm sorry.
This is that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I move that the Director of Utilities using time in the books to bridge a gap for retirement, to allow the director of the village to take a sick time and vacation time on the books to bridge the gap to retirement.
Do we have a second? Second. So should we discuss this? This is general ideas for Tracy to be able to take his vacation time and sick time over the next, however many months, till he officially retires.
You're leaving us, Tracy?
Yep.
Maybe a little bit less if you're donating some sick time.
Depends on how much I have to donate, but you're correct, yes.
Any other discussion, questions? Yeah, Brandon. Okay.
Nobody wants Tracy to go anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Let's make him stay.
Can't retire.
Right, Rusty. Rusty. All right, you're in charge. All right. Shall we vote? Rusty? Yes. Laura?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Fran?
Yes.
John?
No.
Yes. Ed?
Yes.
And yes. We don't want to.
Actually, I really appreciate you doing this.
Well, yeah, it's actually good for us. Means we don't cut them one big check. That's the other option. It's terrible for us.
It's bittersweet.
Yeah.
That's all I have. I'm done with my report.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Fred?
We're still ongoing, Christmas trees, big Christmas trees. We finished, Main Street of trimming all the trees. We repaired the fire station lights on the front of the building and fixed the lights on the bridge that have been out, had a short. That bridge is,
They don't last long, do they?
no, well, it gets wet and it shorts out, the wires are,
Vibrations and.
yeah, it just gets wet in the pull boxes that the light wire sits in. There's nowhere for that water to drain other than through the wire. So today we had to pull new wire from the top to the bottom of the second light on the eastbound lane. That's done, so all the lights are working, hopefully back up and going down the road again here. We cut all the trees that we had to in Hyde Park last week, so that's all done. Yeah, we just been salting and plowing for the winter. Oh, and we cleaned, we chipped 2 days in cemetery. Cleaned and cut, chipped.
That pesky snow, you get a lot done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Discuss it.
We're gonna do it now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Discuss this with
Oh, boy.
I was jumping in.
Jumping in head over heels here. All right, well, this is the first time I ever did this and I botched it all up, so I apologize for all this. So we put out a bid for the street sweeper that we talked about. And we came back with $115,000 Bradco. Yeah, bear with me here, I get that list wrong.
That's the one we were.
That's when we were talking about the last week, but we did get another, quote from JJ Equipment that I really, really liked. And I understand there are different ranges of prices. The Timco that was offered to from JJ Equipment came in at $199,950 for this 2023 street sweeper. It's brand new, pretty much. It's fully warranted. It's stainless, a lifetime. The box is stainless, it's a lifetime. The people that would service it or fix it if they had to are in Syracuse. They're local. They're very convenient for us. Now, I understand that the Bradco one that we were looking at for 115, we get no warranty.
What year was that one?
2019. And then we also got another bid on a 2004 Timco, and I wasn't very impressed. It's too old. I didn't like that. But I picked it came down to the Bradco, for 115 is a 2019, yep, 2019. It's a gas Suzu motor, and the pony motor is gas. Where on the JJ equipment one, it's diesel, it's a Freightliner, and the pony motor is also diesel. It's a heavier chassis, and it's still under CDL equipment. We don't have to have a CDL to drive it. And I know, I mean, this is where I'm coming to you for your help. One of them is 199,000, but we have a lifetime warranty, like I said, and we have warranty 3 years on the drivetrain. It's a toss up of what we want to do. I prefer to go with a new one, but I understand what we kind of can do also. And I'm going to redo the bid and rebid it all again with specs. So we have time to think about it and discuss what we want to do.
I have a quick question on the number, because I talked to you a minute ago. I thought that you told me 191,950, it's 190.
100, yeah, whatever that says right there.
I don't know what it says.
Oh, I'm sorry, 199.
199.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, no.
In the 2004 was $75,000. You got that, Rusty?
Okay.
What's that other one?
Yeah, what's the mileage like on that?
The mileage is 1,408 hours.
This is the.
Yeah, it's at Isuzu.
Yep. 14.
The street sweeper, or street tender, or something like that it was.
The other one is like a demo, new used.
Yeah, with just the miles from bringing it down from circus. They had it in 2022. They are giving it to us $50,000 less than they would sell it because they don't want to keep making payments on it. So in their yard, they'd have to keep paying for it, and they don't want to do that.
So
So
it's
they
just as due as the 23, it's just has been used.
Correct.
No, no.
No, the 23 is the one he's talking about.
23 is what I'm talking about.
Oh.
And the 2018 is a broom, which does not, you don't want that at all.
No, that is just a curb to curb. Yeah,
That
disregard that
pushes
one.
the dirt from one side of the road to the other. It's not really a picker up.
Yeah.
So we can't, they bid it, but it doesn't,
All right.
it's not.
It doesn't even meet our description.
So that's gotta go out.
Rusty?
Okay, so this is no blame, this is just how it goes. We didn't bid it the way we needed to bid it. I have a recommendation, I mentioned it to Fred, this is what I think we should do. Instead of, again, in a minute and a half right now deciding, because we don't know about the money, I think we should send out 2 bids. One bid that would be all-inclusive to cover the Bradco, and another bid that would be more detailed, that would cover the used Timco. Send out 2 different bids for the 2 different things, so that we can then, as we figure out whether we have the money, or how we get the money, or which one we want to do, instead of us deciding 10 seconds after we heard about it, we'll have that option of going for either one.
So just clarify that, so you're saying that we're gonna send 2 out and one's gonna be for, a gas, you want?
Yep.
Both of them will be gas?
No,
No?
The Timco will be diesel.
the one that's a
On a
diesel, the
Freightliner
bid we put out
chassis.
will be for a diesel.
And the Bradco is a gas.
The other bid will be tailored for the gas one. We have 2 separate bids for 2 separate,
Yeah.
completely separate things.
Okay, so one bid is gonna be for gas engine and one bid's gonna be for diesel engine.
Yes,
Fuel, right? And then, they can both be new or used?
no, we're tailoring this bid for these things.
It could, yeah, we're looking at used because, like I said, the Timco, the diesel one would be another $50,000 more if you were looking for brand new, and I know we can afford that. So and this is my fault, I structured it to use, but I had no idea what the guideline was for used street sweeper.
Well, like, new, like, I just bought a car, right? So new is like 2020 to now, right?
No, not necessarily, because that's not how it works in the equipment world. In the equipment world works on, like you bought your car, so you just depreciate it. Why do I don't?
Yeah, as soon as you roll off
As soon as I roll it off, so I'm looking at something that is not what we're paying top notch for, brand new. But that 2023, we're lucky because it is pretty much brand new, that he's taking it off of like, it was already owned by someone, so he's already knocking $50,000 off it.
Right, but it's sort of like, if you leave it open for having others, like this one that's only, barely used is gonna be a better price than anything brand new anyway, and you just get all your bids in there or whatever.
What will happen is that I put a bid out in the paper and I didn't specify what I was looking for. I didn't know what I was looking for because on a street sweeper, I really don't know all their specs and I didn't know. Now that I have an idea through what Bradco has on a low end street sweeper, and now that I know what Timco's are on an upper end and the price differences, now I know what specs I would be looking for. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but like, what if you find another opportunity?
Maybe they'll get put in that specs, maybe they're gonna give you a better deal. I don't know.
Like, don't stop looking just because you found those two.
Right,
Like,
that's what I'm saying, that's why we have to put it out to bid, and if somebody bids on them specs of the Timco, I'll go with that one if it's a better deal, no
Yeah.
doubt about it. But now that I have an idea of what I would like to have, then that's your decision of what you're gonna pay for. I can go with the Timco, or I can go with the street tender through Bradco. I'm giving you options of where you wanna go.
So the diesel one and the gas one, the diesel one, we would only have, you and one other person to
No,
operate it?
it's not a CDL.
Oh, okay, so everybody can operate either one?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, that's why, that was that's the only thing I did actually know. I didn't want a CDL.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get away from CDL because it costs us too much money to hire, or to get them CDL qualified.
Can they just leave?
Then exactly, by the time we spend $5,000, they can just take that class and go.
Now, as far as the different, like, they're two different animals.
Mm-hmm.
Is the Freightliner one gonna be able to get in where we gotta
Yes,
get in?
it's smaller than what we have now. It's a back dump, or top dump, it dumps over the top. So the container and everything is inside the machine.
Just a street sweeper, not a.
Yeah, just a
changeable
straight,
bulbs
no,
And everything else.
no, it's just a street
It
sweeper,
doesn't suck up the, what do you call
manhole.
it? Doesn't suck up the manhole.
Can it cord?
To be honest with you, you can, but to an extent, it's nothing like what he has. I just want to throw that, I don't want to fib you. It will, if it could, if it wanted to, it could. We are not using it for a manhole sucker.
Not yet.
No, it ain't happening. No.
Could you pick up leaves with it?
That's the other good thing about the new Timco is that the deck opens up. So in the fall, if there's leaves, big leaves on the streets, we can suck them leaves by opening up, hitting the switch, and it opens up the front deck of the sucker, and it
Clean out
sucks all the
ditches
leaves.
and stuff,
Huh?
yeah. Clean out ditches, leaves in the ditches.
In the curb lines, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. If just throw a switch and it sucks it, yes. Yep. Where the Bradco doesn't. Just
Leaf
another.
picker upper, because
I,
I said, being able to pick up the leaves is a good,
that's all, I mean, that's to clean the streets in the fall, to clean the leaves and stuff after you suck them, yeah. Absolutely. Any other questions?
So if you get this advertised this week.
I will
vote
start
on
it
in
tomorrow.
2 weeks?
I talked with Nate before I came here today, and he kind of gave me a way to go about it, and I'll probably call him again tomorrow.
So is that a good idea, to put the bid out for both of them and?
Yeah, I mean, they're two different machines.
Yeah, but, so this gives us a little time to option, a little thought
That
process.
might give us more prices on those specific two machines.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Do we need a motion to put those bids out, or we just consensus do that?
I think Frank can just do it, right, Nate?
yes, you can just do it. Fred can always go out to bid for, the specifications that he would like. And just to clarify, we're not going out to bid to buy these two particular machines, right? It's machines that are similar to something like that. We do need to create the specifications still so that Fred, now that Fred knows a little bit more about what he would like and kind of where the pricing ends up, I think it's great that you go out for two different types of things because that'll more clearly, I think, identify and draw out the differences and give you more options. So, but yes, no need for a resolution. Fred can just do it.
Okay.
Yep.
Anything else?
Oh, sweat.
Anything else? Got anything else?
Hell, I was doing good.
You want to do his.
I was gonna say,
fees and Trevor while we're here?
On the agenda, we got a couple of motions. One about cemetery.
So that.
Should I go ahead and make the resolution? Ready? Okay, I request an increase in the burial fees without, upon motion and seconded by whoever, to allow an increase in burial fees from $500 to $800 for full body burial, and from $250 to $450 for ash burials.
You say full body, do they have
With a
body?
casket.
Oh,
Get a discount for that, Charles.
With a casket.
Maybe we.
had to ask.
Like airline seats.
I'll second it.
Like airline seats.
All right, do we have any discussion on this?
What exactly is an ash burial? How deep do you go for that?
2 foot.
Yeah.
2 foot, dig it by hand. It's 2 by 2 square.
Was this upon recommendation from the head of the?
Yes.
DPW?
Yes, it's, and actually that's lower rates than some places are charging. So this is still very reasonable.
Even when the new rate is still.
Yes, it's still under what a lot of people are doing.
I'll be deceased, I don't care what you charge.
Well, we
I'm
don't
not
have,
gonna be around then.
we don't have any plots.
Which is about
Right,
there still, right?
No,
These are really people who've already bought plots. Rusty?
Another question, well, is this something that, we don't have to do a law, or this is just a fee structure, we don't have to do a law or a public hearing, do we on fees? I don't think we do. Pretty sure we do.
Nate? Do you know that we can change these fees by resolution?
And I apologize, they're the cemetery fees. Is that right, Fran?
yeah,
Yeah, for burial fees.
I'd have to look real quick. I don't believe they're set out in the village's code. But if they're set out in the village's code, then yes, you would need to pass a local law. If they're not, then it would just be by resolution.
Like, let's make the, and it turns out that we can't, then.
Yeah.
Well,
And we'll change
Well, that sounds like a good plan. All right.
yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Fran?
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
And yes.
thank you.
Let's see. You'll let us know if we need to change that.
Who was that?
Mowers.
Okay. Resolution upon motion 9, second by to approve the DPW purchasing of a 31 HP Kawasaki FX W60 foot
16 inch.
68.
16 foot, that. TF deck and trimmer rack using ARPA funds not to exceed $11,700.
I'll second that.
Okay.
What does this thing actually do?
Lawn, zero turn.
Huh?
Zero turn.
So you'll just lawnmower.
Yep.
Lawnmower.
It's a ride-on?
Yes, sir.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's an upgrade from our Jacobs that are in trouble.
Awesome.
So, question on that. To be consistent, make note that we have hundreds of thousands of dollars things coming up, and so we continually, and I fussed about it from the fire department, fussed about it continually, ARPA funds, we are running out of them. We have talked about buying this and needing this
Yeah.
previously,
And we actually set aside some ARPA money for it.
so we've done this, so, but I just want to make that little quick thing that everybody needs to keep thinking, these ARPA monies are gonna run out, so it's not just, we're not just, when we deny it to somebody else, we're not just throwing them away, and,
Yeah, no, this has been on the list.
yeah. So that somebody won't freak out if we deny some other ARPA things that we don't have money for.
Something we did when we did the budget. 'Cause I know we're
Yeah.
doing, okay, yeah.
Thanks.
We have to stay below the 2% cap, so.
Yeah.
That's hard to do.
That is-
Yeah. We'll be talking about that later.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck coming up with that. Any other discussion on that? Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Fran?
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
And yes. See what else we have.
What else do you want us to buy, Fred?
Excuse me?
What else do you want us to buy?
I like an all-new fleet, yeah.
I think that's all we got on the list for you.
We're cutting your mic now.
Cool, I'm good.
Cross off department head reports, you got anything? We'll go to discussion on Bella Lockwood Lane. I put this on there, there's not much discussion. We asked them a bunch of questions. They haven't given me answers yet. They asked to be on the agenda and then asked to not. Does anybody have any more questions you want me to ask them? I guess that's the big question.
Well, like I said from that email message, I mean, what was sent out had nothing to do with the road.
Right.
I mean, so, I mean, we still don't know what the original plans were for that road and what was approved. You know, we need to know what we had previously approved and if they're living up to it.
I'm assuming if there's no proof that we have to take ownership, that there is no ownership required. I mean, that,
As far as my knowledge, we have not found anything, God bless you, that we said we would take it over or anything else. Now, remind you, that was county property. So I don't know how that relates to us because that was county property that did it. So we can't find anything in our books that we would be liable to take that road over.
So they just got rid of, they just gave it up, county?
No, they were just assuming. I'm saying.
They sold it to
IDA sold it to the developer.
Right.
I mean, wasn't there, it seems like there were 3 stipulations that the planning board had as far as that road was concerned. And
yeah, I noticed.
we don't have any proof of that was lived up to.
I noticed they did approve on the planning board, I think of the 12% grade.
Yeah.
That was it. Rusty?
But once again, the planning board and the zoning board of appeals merely give permission for a private landowner to develop a property and put a site plan in. They could say, so basically they told them, your driveway or road or whatever you have on your property, these are the things that we would require for you to have a driveway to come down. It has nothing to do with us and us pursuing that thing. And we don't have the authority to tell that planning board or that zoning board what they're gonna decide about it, and they don't have the authority to tell us that we're gonna take that road that those people built and made it into our street.
Exactly.
So anyway, if anybody has more questions for that, just let me know.
Yeah,
I'll get them to you.
Yeah, we need to see what the contract was with them and the village.
There isn't.
There is.
Well, they can assume we'll take on that road.
they should first
No
take that
assumptions,
financial
please.
responsibility.
Yes, absolutely correct.
So they're not here, let's,
Right,
So
yeah.
if that
let's-
doesn't happen, then what is the option after that?
They own
they own their
Yeah,
driveway.
drivers take care of
Then
it.
they have to take it.
Maintain it.
they said they're gonna lock the door and walk away, because they can't open it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Water.
Should have done your research a little better.
And they're walking right now.
so let's wait for them to get back to us with some of the answers we wanted. Yes.
We're trying to get stuck with it, they're trying to stick us with it.
We'll see what happens.
Good. Morning, Lieutenant.
I'll tell you something I had this morning, I wanted to tell you something. So we salted our beginning half of that road
Today,
today.
ice this morning?
So Gore was there with a truckload, a big truck flatbed with bales of hay. So Gore asked my guys, are they gonna salt that? And we said, no. He goes, okay, good, I'm taking everybody home today. They wouldn't even go up the hill.
Because
It was all ice.
slippery and dangerous.
You know it.
It's been icy.
So they went home and never spread any hay. Straw.
Interesting.
All right, next thing is Nate's stuff.
And by Nate's stuff, I assume you mean those local laws.
Yeah. Yeah, can you tell us in a nutshell what it is? I tried reading all this. Yeah.
So we have two local laws. The first one is to repeal Chapter 98 of the Village of Owego Code entitled Buildings Unsafe. And then the second is to repeal and replace Chapter 92 of the Village Code entitled Building Code Administration. We've talked about this a couple times to date. So these resolutions tonight just schedule the public hearings for consideration of whether or not to actually adopt these. Those public hearings would be scheduled for your first meeting in February, which I think is the 6th, and or the 7th, if it's a holiday.
Yeah. Well, there's
So-
no holiday. Like that.
So they'd be, repealing Chapter 98 is because our repealing and replacing of Chapter 92 addresses the unsafe building law in your village. So 98 becomes duplicative. We don't need it anymore as a result of repealing and replacing Chapter 92. The grand scheme for Chapter 92 is that it's the Uniform Code update from New York State. We're largely following the model law that they recommend, and then we incorporate into it the unsafe building issues, which is why we're repealing and just not replacing Chapter 98.
Okay. So does anybody want to make those motions to set a public hearing?
Before we do that, I would like a couple of things. Once again, you hear me all the time about things in order, things in process. I would like to talk to our code enforcement officers. I would like to, I just today got the new 92. I would like to look at old 92, new 92, find out what things the state requires, what are there things in here that are just 92, the new 92 has a tremendous amount of work for our code enforcement officers, as I just casually scanned it. So once again, I'm not prepared to get to a public hearing on this yet.
So Rusty, I will say that the state requires the municipalities to adopt the model update. You largely cannot deviate from it, except to the extent that the state provides you options in it to deviate from it. And so almost regardless of how much more work this might result in villages' code enforcement officers, if you want to enforce the state code in your village, you have to adopt the state code.
So 92 is pretty much all the stuff, completely or almost all things that we have to do from the state, the new one.
Correct. We did not change anything that the state says you have to do.
And you said, that you did say a minute ago, if you want to enforce the state code, you have to do this.
Correct. If you want to not enforce the building code, then it would become the county's responsibility.
If we don't choose to adopt this, and so whatever, then it's the county's responsibility to do what?
to enforce the New York State Uniform Building, Fire, and Prevention law. So any building permits would be issued by the county at that point.
So would that also put the pay for the code enforcers on their bill rather than ours?
It would, yeah. And instead, your code enforcement officers would be concerned with non-building code issues. So it would be just zoning, effectively.
And grass site, that kind of stuff.
So we really wouldn't need 2 people for that. If we have our tax benefits from the county, it's just an option. Because we cannot.
Yeah, I think this gets to an issue of home rule though, doesn't it? I mean, we have the opportunity to keep something within our home, so to speak. If we don't, we give up that right.
And I agree with you on that. And one of these things that we talk about is, like with the town and certain shared services and certain things and all the rest of it. Do we, police having them, not having them, everyone, it is similar thing like all that, you know, you're right.
And they would it fall on the town or the county?
Well, this one.
It would be the county.
Because do they do code? I don't think they do code enforcement.
Well, and to be clear, right? You know, Ed, I think you're absolutely right. It's about home rule and what you control versus what someone else controls. If you say, hey, county, guess what? We decided we're not enforcing the uniform code anymore, then residents of your village will get the attention and priority that the county feels addressing building code issues in the village of Owego deserves. Leave that for what it is.
So we really have no option other than to adopt this.
Yeah, basically.
You can make some tweaks, not a lot, very few.
Well, that's good information. That's stuff that we didn't know 10 minutes ago. So that's good information. I still would like to look at it and study a little bit more before we do the public hearing. That's me, but that's me. We have to.
So if you guys want to schedule a public hearing, and I mean, obviously the point of the public hearing is to hear about it.
From the public after we're satisfied. We want to hear from the public. I think
We want to do it the second meeting in February?
I haven't read the whole thing yet. It's the first part.
Well, it'd be a month from now. Second meeting in February.
That's also, I mean, public hearing, you don't have to act directly after.
We have a
we
month
don't, but we
to
know how
study
that
it.
generally works.
You have how many days?
60 days to decide.
What's our time frame on adopting this, Nate?
Well, the state really wanted it done by the end of 2022. So sooner than later.
We should have another month on states.
Is there a point where the state will tell us too late, it goes to the county?
I don't know the answer to that because the state hasn't laid that out so boldly. But I can tell you, if you don't adopt it, then I would expect the state, probably, given how the state works, within 10 years to come back. But
Yeah.
So it's up to you guys, whether you want to schedule a public hearing or leave it open and we'll keep bringing it up every meeting.
I think I would be on board with scheduling it for the second meeting in February. And, you know, we can always choose not to adopt the local law, although I don't see why we wouldn't, but.
Well, I mean, the night we have the public hearing, we don't necessarily have to vote on it then, right?
Yeah.
Want to wait
Right.
another meeting to vote on it.
You have 60 days after the public hearing.
Yep.
Now, I would recommend that we set a public hearing date for the second meeting in February.
So somebody make that motion?
Yes,
If that's the
okay.
motion, I'll second it.
Okay.
So,
It would be the
20th?
21st. 20th is President's Day, so it'll be the 21st.
21st is a hearing already.
February 21st?
Schedule a hearing on it. Did we make one last meeting for,
Well, we tried, it didn't pass.
Oh, okay.
for that day? For some day? Okay, so I guess.
You're
For the
thinking ahead.
future.
When would be the public hearing? February 21st.
Yes,
Zero second. Anybody
the
second?
day after President's Day.
Okay.
And is that for local law number 1? Because we have to do them separate, I assume.
Let's do number 1.
Shall we vote on that? Let's set the date, public hearing. Rusty?
Okay.
Laura?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Fran?
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
And yes. Now we have to local law number 2. We just want to make that motion.
Fran, are you gonna do this?
Oh, no, you go ahead.
Nothing.
Okay. All right, I've resolved that, let's see, there's, we have a public hearing set to adopt, the uniform code updates, law number 2, the same evening of, February the 21st, at 7 PM. Or 7:15, whatever.
I'll second that.
All right, any discussion on that? Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yeah.
Ron?
Yes.
Fran?
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
And yes. All right. Next, is approval of the amended municipal cooperative agreement. And this is needed by the insurance. Actually, we needed to do it like, again, last year. Forgot.
Or the same insurance that we had.
Yeah.
I motion to approve the 2023 amended municipal cooperative agreement.
Second. Any discussion on that? This keeps us in their plans. What does?
For reading too.
Yeah.
There you go.
Rusty? Yes. Laura?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Fran?
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
And yes. Right along. Next is the treasurer's report. Get it?
Mhm.
I did my little analysis. Looking okay. And the police department number is off, but that, I believe, is because we hired 2 extra guys from the cops grant that are not in the budget that we get paid back for. But aren't in the, so the numbers we see aren't right, so we need to change that.
Other than that, Mike, is it good?
Yeah.
When you say they're not in the budget, it just means that we didn't know when we were hiring them.
Right.
So we didn't know when to include them in the budget.
We didn't add their revenue or expenses,
Yeah.
but they zero out. But the numbers should be in there because we're seeing
Move to approve Petra's report as submitted
Second.
with the changes from that.
no changes.
Yeah.
All right, any other questions or comments on the treasurer's report?
What's the DPW, comes in 67.6 and the target's on 41?
Good question.
What's that?
I mean, I know we had concern about money that wasn't
Yeah,
moved or
we
previously.
previously some of it, so I'll have to have Cindy look into it and
That, fire looks great, they're under.
see. Yep,
I didn't know if this was part of the inflation issues that we're dealing with, or.
Some of it is. Everything costs more.
I seconded that, I don't know if you heard me.
Any other questions, discussion on that? Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes,
Rob?
Yes.
Fran?
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
And yes. And some of that is, I do like a linear, ranges 5 divided by 12 is how I get the target percentage, and the expenses don't come in
Neatly every month.
right. The same all the time. Like insurance is a big hitter, and we've already paid most of that.
Right.
All right, next is minutes.
I move to approve them as submitted.
Second.
Any discussion on the minutes? Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes,
Rob?
Yes.
Fran?
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
And yes. Trustee reports. Rusty?
Almost never, but a reminder for us to be paying attention, thinking. Someplace I wrote it down a couple of meetings ago, I'm not gonna dig it out now, I'm gonna be very long on this. We have a tremendous amount of obligations coming up, including 3 COPS grants that will come up after 3 years, 100 grand apiece. Matching funds at 90 Temple Street, probably 150 grand. A bunch of more money in the fire station, even if we get 200 extra from DRI, still isn't gonna be enough. We have vehicles and things that we have to buy, stuff. We don't have a pile of money, so we're gonna have to get tighter on our spending. We're gonna have to get our new grant writer rolling. We're gonna have to do everything we can. Just want everybody to remember that we got budget coming up here in a few months. Money is tight. Not that, everybody doesn't know, but we're not even thinking about how tight it is. That's it.
In our office specialist one, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. We don't have any of those. Laura?
just a reminder, we're having our first, Climate Smart Communities Task Force meeting on Monday, 10 a.m. Hubbard Auditorium. 10 to 12. And, the next OHPC meeting will be on the first Thursday. That's it.
February.
Yeah, first Thursday, February. Which is Groundhog's Day.
You're never gonna get out of there.
Rob?
I have no report, but I would like to take this opportunity to say that I will not be running again. Just so it's out there publicly. Thank you for the 5 years, but with the business and stuff, the stress is just a little too much for.
Was there someone else running for that position?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
Petitions are out there.
yes.
I haven't heard it.
Let you know.
Thank you.
With Tracy leaving, I wanna get the hell out of here.
Right.
Thanks for helping us out.
Yeah, we'll miss you, right?
Tracy, you got a few hundred sick days you can run.
Brent?
We've covered everything at DPW. The cemetery committee, and the EMS. Cemetery committee, is meeting, on January the 28th at the museum at 9 in the morning. The purpose of that is we want to go through some of the records that the village sent over there to the museum. Mainly we're looking at, we're trying to rectify where people are actually buried as compared to where some of the records don't agree. And then on Monday the 30th, we're having a meeting here at 5:30 in conjunction with Friends of Owego Evergreen and the Cemetery Committee to look at what goals we have for the cemetery and, trying to look at funding for them. So, anybody's interested in coming at 5:30 on the 30th, that's good.
Okay.
That's it.
Charles?
I think everything that needed to be discussed has been discussed. I just want to say, I love the fact that people are coming together to help individuals. It seems to be the theme of the year so far, people coming together. It's a great thing to help out people who need to be helped out, humanitarian. It's good to know that there's some humans still on this planet that are wanting to help each other out. So I commend you for bringing that forward tonight. Coworker. That's all I got. I don't get mushy.
All right. Ed?
Appreciate your sour videos.
Mike, you want to talk about the parking lot meeting that we had?
Or you kind of want, yeah.
So the bank is generally amenable to, to pursuing this. I think it's, when we get right down to it, we'll need to make a formal decision, but I think at this point we're happy to try to accommodate those changes.
Yeah, so we met with
Thank you, Ed.
Ed, myself, and a couple other people from the bank. Kind of talked about the different entrance there for the Hyde lot, and then, like Ed said, they're generally accepting of it. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
And Hunt is working with them to try and get well, actually, they have more of a detailed plan now, so.
Start making those lots look a little more
Yeah.
inviting.
Well, I mean, and when people turn on to Main Street from Court Street, I mean, we can have signage so they can see that parking in
Yep.
there in that lot.
Right across the street from Lake Street.
Right.
Hopefully more people will use it.
I went on down the movie theater, you don't need to put a sign up there though, because
That's always told.
forever,
Right. All right,
Is there something gonna be done about those, that building right across from, I keep calling it, where it is? Yeah,
yeah,
is something gonna be
Traffic
done?
traps.
I mean,
hopefully.
I hate to walk past there and think I'm in a scene from
Current
Home
status
Alone.
on that.
Something was bricks off the
It's
building.
in code enforcement, I know they applied for a grant for it. I don't know how that's going.
That was Stone Court.
It is.
Charles,
Ownership
something
is
going to be
unclear,
done.
is that it?
Something's going to be done, but there is still ownership
Issues.
issue about that.
It's just that gap between something's gonna be done and something not being done.
Yeah,
Is that something's gonna happen?
I know. I also heard there's a swimming pool on the roof, so.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the potential for disaster. I don't know how we force somebody to address that.
I don't know either.
I mean, if you got, I heard 4 foot of water up there, that's probably 5
All it
10
takes is
thousand gallons of water going somewhere when the time we bust loose.
Yeah, I don't know how we force that.
Small rule in the OHPC stuff about when people are letting their buildings decay without, without having, not putting any money into it and like allowing them to decay, and a process in there. That's the only thing I can think about.
Even that takes time, and time.
Yeah.
And the issue right now is,
That can't even be approached until ownership is
right, right now it's in the court battle of who even owns that building.
So there's no one yet to.
We don't know who to go talk to.
Is it occupied at all?
No.
No?
My question is liability side. If we know there's a lot of water, are we liable if that busts through?
That's a good Nate question.
I mean, we could take the
Yeah.
initiative to try to at least siphon some of that water down and out, but then somebody's gonna complain. "Where's the
Right, but
water
then
going?"
right now, it seems like we should have to take some kind of legal recourse to prevent a disaster from happening.
Yeah, but to put it on who?
I don't live right next to it, but people do.
Well, people come around that corner all the time and, falling on somebody's car.
Well, I thought that the water is my main concern. Bricks, I mean, they hurt, they're very individualized when they fall, but if that water goes, it's catastrophic to a lot of businesses.
Well, I mean, the water, depending how much weight it could bring to the building.
And more bricks.
Yeah.
I don't believe there's an additional fine what they're already receiving daily for the building.
Somebody already owes.
It's already, marked off from the sidewalk so people can't enter it, so I don't think it could be any more marked off than what we've already done.
Well, I guess
There's
it's
always that one person that wants to step over the line,
Then they're
a little
trespassing.
bit of yellow tape, nothing.
This would be something to talk
Oh,
about.
I've seen tape.
Yeah, we
Talk
should
with Nate.
probably ask Nate, what's our actual liability there? Do you have any idea?
I generally won't answer that question in open session.
Yeah, okay.
Good job, Nate.
I'll ask you that now. Yeah. Communications. I don't have much. We got Nikon coming up. Couple weeks. That's about it.
Yeah, I hope we can find out a little bit more on the marijuana law.
Hopefully.
They said in the, schedule that there's gonna be that, somebody go to that, and get some good solid information.
So it's me and Fran going, so I'll get with you on the schedule when we want to leave.
Are they handing out samples?
Sure.
Oh, yeah, what do you?
Really?
And smell bad.
I can't get the sample. Mayor's report, nothing specific. We did that parking lot meeting. DRI meetings. I wrote a thing for the paper about the DRI projects. Everything's moving forward. Last thing, public comment.
We got Mike tonight.
Nothing? Luke. Move to adjourn at 8:15.
All right.
It doesn't seem right.
Wow, that's good. Something's not right about that. See you guys next time online.